Republicans just buy our democracy. Because watching Elon and Trump and Peter Thiel right now, they clearly think they can. Seeing who Mitch McConnell has chosen to run for Senate in states like Pennsylvania and Montana and Michigan, not because any of those candidates live in those states, but because they have ties there. And he knows they're a guaranteed vote for the extreme right, ultra-rich, and big business. Just carpetbaggers he can fly in to buy a Senate seat, and I find it sickening. Look at Wisconsin. Republicans have spent more than $80 million in advertising on that Senate race alone. And Mitch McConnell's Senate Leadership Fund just reserved $23.6 million more to run targeted attack ads on the good and decent sitting Senator Tammy Baldwin. Senator Tammy Baldwin, who has led an exemplary life and been an extraordinary senator looking out for the American people and the American worker and women and the LGBTQ community her entire career. This is exactly what happened in 2022 when the Republicans swooped in at the last moment and threw millions of dollars into the Wisconsin race so that Ron Johnson, who had criminally tried to disenfranchise his own state's voters by sneaking in an alternative slate of electors in 2020, could win. And that money eked out a 1% victory for Johnson to the detriment of all of the voters. The bottom line is, if the Republicans are allowed to do this, if they can just flip Tammy Baldwin's seat red, giving the Republicans the Senate majority and getting enough voters out to potentially flip the state's presidential election to Trump just by pumping the airways with deception and lies because they simply had the money to do it, it won't serve anyone, not in Wisconsin and not in the country. It's just not okay for the richest to just buy their way to power so they can keep looking out for themselves. And it simply cannot continue. Eric Havy, who is running for Senate in Wisconsin, is a California bank owner who lives in a mansion in Laguna Beach. He is an extremist who's only in this race to help rich guys like himself. You need healthcare? He wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act. You're counting on Medicare or Social Security? He wants to raise the retirement age to make it harder for you to get it. He is a vote for cutting taxes on the rich while raising taxes on everyone else. He opposes prescription drug caps and believes that pharmaceutical companies should make as much profit as possible off your bad health. And finally, while Tammy Baldwin is the lead sponsor of the Women's Health Protection Act, Eric Havy has said he's 100% opposed to abortion and saw the overturning of Roe as a huge win. So if you are pregnant, sick, old, or poor in America, Eric Havy believes you aren't worth looking out for, and he and his rich friends are going to make sure of it. So I'm here to personally ask you to help Tammy Baldwin compete with this well-funded anti-democratic money machine. Send her money to get out the vote, to compete with his onslaught of ads, and to truly represent the people. As always, I have attached a link here and put one in my bio to make it as easy as possible for you to do that. This cannot be how our elections are won. We have to tell these millionaires and billionaires that our votes and our country are not for sale, that we want representatives who look out for us and not for themselves, that it doesn't matter how much money they throw at these races, we are still going to win. So help Tammy, help us, because it needs to stop. Check the link.